Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dirt 3. We gotta do this Rally X thing. I guess we'll take the RX cars. And now that we're up to level 23, this car objective bonus is at 1700. Whereas this Mobile 1 performance is still at 2250. It's gonna be the exact highest possible amount of rep you can get. And I don't.
Well, you obviously
I don't know.
Am
I
to know about snow
selling
races,
out
so just get out there and
by
show
having
how it's done.
a Mobile 1 car? Is that what's going on? And that's why I'm getting the most rep, is because I'm selling out the hardest, even over other people? Maybe that's it. All the other cars have logos on them too. Although they may be fake logos. Can't even see the line. There's so much snow getting kicked up. This is a treacherous racetrack, so I'm gonna have to be a little careful. Now, if I get in first place, I don't have them blowing snow in my face anymore. And so, sorry Mohammed bin Salameen, I'm taking up first place. A lot of these names are probably joke names, like Garth Jones is probably a Garth Brooks reference. But maybe not. Maybe those are actually famous rally car racers. How would I know? I don't even know if the voices that I hear are famous rally car racers. They might be, they might not. Either way, I can say they sound good in the game, so it's not one of those cases where they hired somebody who was unqualified to do voice acting just because they're famous. There we go, we got our quest done. So we're on lap 3 of 5, so this one won't take too long. But then there's 3 more races after this, I believe. They should have the abominable snowman from Ski Free on the side somewhere, just as an Easter egg. I wonder if there are Easter eggs in this game somewhere. If they are, I probably would never find them. There is a skiing, snowboarding game called Steep that recently came out. And that, too, if I'm going to go down the route of playing sports games, would have been one that I should have covered, but didn't have time for it or think about it enough. But that might be the first winter sporting game I purchase and play whenever I get around to that. Maybe for the Winter Olympics, that would be a good reason to tie in playing winter sports. In fact, any Olympic sports or any sports at all during the Winter Olympics might be a perfect thing to cover. I'll have to put that in my schedule of ideas. Of course, I may very well see a bump in viewership during the Olympics too, as people who are uninterested in watching them move on to YouTube. So I want to counter program and have something different from the Olympics while also supplementally program for it, or try to leech off, I guess is the best way to describe it, off the popularity of the Olympics. Well, I don't think it's the Winter Olympics. I think it's the next Summer Olympics that's going to be in Tokyo. You'd think that there would be some Japanese video game company that would try to do something with that. fact, it's kind of odd that we don't every 4 years have a company come out with a Olympics style game. Like the most popular Olympic style game I can think of on YouTube would be Minecraft Olympics, which is just a mod. I don't even think it's a mod, it's just a map. Bye-bye to Garth Jones. This is the purest style of race to me, though, where I can just position play and race. I don't have to listen to somebody tell me instructions I don't understand. I don't have to do tricks. I don't have to do donuts. I don't have to drift. I can just race and go forward. And it's a kind of a shame that these races are mixed in with each other in odd ways. So it's hard to find what you like and stick with it. It almost feels like for as many different times we do the same racetrack, it feels like you should just be able to pick. Do you want to do a rally car race? Do you want to do a position play standard style race? Do you want to do a trick style race? And on the same one, and if you beat it in any style race of those options, you should just beat it for all of them and move forward to the next section. Kind of like a skill tree in an RPG game. Which I guess you could make a racing game with a skill tree. There's probably nothing really stopping you, although you'd probably just do that by having it where you could purchase more parts or unlock new cars with better parts. But I guess this also goes to show why, unless I'm totally confused, Codemasters made Left 4 Dead, not Left 4 Dead, Dead Island. And in Dead Island there was a car driving mechanic that was moderately good. No, it wasn't anywhere as good as this though. And I don't even think Codemasters made Dead Island, now that I'm thinking about it. I've said that twice now and I should check, because I think it might be a totally different company. Maybe the names are similar. They like to do that a lot. They like to have the same names, or take back names from companies that went out of business. For instance, I recently played a LucasArts video game for Star Wars, May the 4th be with you, and LucasArts ceased operation in 1993, so like there's really nobody to credit on Twitter. There's no LucasArts Twitter name or anything. You could credit Disney, but Disney really didn't do anything. So I pretty much just pointed it out to the people that I think made the PC port, and that's it. And it's kind of a shame, because that game desperately, that I was playing desperately needs a full-on remake, and not just a upscale, but there are entire elements missing to the game, and probably why LucasArts isn't in business anymore is that they couldn't finish a modern game, and they're really only known for making very old games. But yeah, why would the filmmakers of LucasArts and Lucasfilms know what they're doing when making video games anyways? even if they hire the best, that's not going to guarantee you success, obviously. That is the thing about the video game industry in general, is that people think they can just be the parent company of a video game company and just own it and hire people to do all the real work, and it really doesn't work that way a lot of times. Sometimes it does, but video game making is a special industry, I would like to think, and requires actually knowing the industry and being good at it. You can't just ask for a bunch of reports and look at the reports and say, well, based on our surveys, based on our reports, we know that this is the right thing to do. If you do that, you end up with Ubisoft style games where they do the same thing over and over again and only moderately excite people with the next iteration of their mini series, instead of doing something new and imaginative that would help them have a new and cool idea. Of course, then you can go the other route with it, and you can have Gabe Newell, who runs the company, and he's so sensitive to the video games programmers' whims and desires that the entire company is just about good ideas, and it doesn't matter if they ever actually make a final product, which effectively just makes Valve a think tank for video game programmers, which is not terrible, except for the fact that they run Steam also, so that they actually have to deliver there. I often think, though, that if people, particularly early in their career, go work for Valve, they kind of have this badge of shame on them that says, well, you work for a company that never really have any requirements or push you that hard, so how are you going to work in a company that actually demands the project to be completed? And even if you stay at Valve for a very long time, and that's the first job you get out of college, you very well may not work on a bunch of cool things but have nothing to show for it on a resume. Particularly, you think about the people that were hired out of college. Ooh, a little lag there again. That was strange. To make Portal, the creators of Portal were hired out of college, and they made Portal. They probably worked on Portal 2, and then what? Like, you have nothing you can say that they've made as far as video games for probably 5 or 6 years now. I'd have to look at when Portal 2 came out. So 5 and 6 years of very little that you, as far as the video game product. Maybe they can come back and say they've been working on the back end of Valve or things like that, but it's not something shiny and interesting. And we're on lap 5 here. Another long racetrack. First place again. People doing air horns. At least they're not doing vuvuzelas, although maybe they are doing vuvuzelas. Moving on to the next race. Just trying to finish this up as fast as possible. Before we go to the next race, though, let's go back to our driving style and... Oh, is there another one? I thought that was the last one. Okay, there's one more. Fine. After we do this race, we'll go look at the driving style and see if we're on simplified or complex instructions. I hope the audio's good, but it may not be. At this point, I'm not going to change it though, so if you're hearing a lot of engine noise and you can barely understand me, sorry. This is one of those games in particular where, because it's engine noise, you know that it's going to sound different in a test setup where the engine isn't making noise versus in the middle of a race where the engine is making noise. And so it becomes more difficult to actually try and balance that. And it's always a shame when a series goes out and the audio's a little off or really, really off, because those videos still represent a lot of effort that I put into it, a lot of time and effort, so I can't really fix them. There's nothing I don't have a software that could download them and fix them and then upload them back in place. And if I delete the old and put in new ones, even if I could do that, then I'd lose all the views on it, and views are my lifeblood as a YouTuber. So even if a video only has 5 views, that's 5 more views that I really can't afford to lose. So I just have to put it out there and say sorry and try my best not to have that happen. And inherently, if it does happen, you'll get comments and people telling you that it's messed up for at least a year later, even though other people have already commented and said the audio is bad. Somebody else will repeat themselves without even looking. Keep on driving. We're on lap 3 of 5, and see, it's always about lap 3 that I look in the top left corner and see how far I am, and so that tells me that at about lap 3 I'm done with the race. And when we play at dusk like this and you can see the brakes, you can see the cornering, braking, and the throttle control kicking in, whereas I'm still just holding the right trigger down the whole time. Left stick and right trigger, those are the only buttons I use. I don't even know which button's the horn. Now B is the handbrake, and X doesn't seem to do anything, and A doesn't seem to do anything, and Y looks behind me. That would be a terrible way to drive a car. Although on casual, you probably still could succeed if you were just doing this the whole time. So I still don't know what the horn button is. Nothing happens on the D-pad. It seems like it just controls the car in case you wanted to play with the D-pad instead of the left stick. Is it? Oh, it's the right stick down. And then the right stick moves the camera, which you don't want to do while you're racing anyways. Well, you can use the horn on them. Lap 5, are we almost done? Or is there a lot more? No, there's one more section. I should be able to tell that actually by the left bar. There's a lot of stuff on the screen, by the way. A lot of stuff on the screen that I feel like they could probably worked on better. Particularly, like, if I could just adjust it so that it was all further in the corner. Is that an option? Maybe we'll check that out too. Because this is assuming that it's on a TV that is cropping the edges with what they call overscan by like 20%, which is a really old TV standard. If I could get the accelerator and everything else in the exact corners, that would be nice. Let's see. See if we can do that. Will we get up another level? Probably not. Almost a level, not quite. So that's another Rally X. There's 2 more Rally X's and then Gymkhana, and I don't know what happens first. Alright, options. Racing style. We are on simplified. We'll go ahead and change the horn again. Just in case. And then heads up display. Entire HUD. Dial, minimap, split time, position info. All of these can be turned on and off, but they desperately need to be adjusted. Like, and that's not going to be under graphics settings, is it? And these are the settings that the NVIDIA experience set up for me, by the way. Yeah. So there needs to be a positioning settings for the HUD. That would help a lot. And that's missing. That's something I would hope was in DiRT 4. Just little tweaks like that. Not this one, but this one would help. And so we've got the smash attack. Let's see if we can do this and succeed. I hope we can. I already know I'm not going to get all the achievements, so I really don't
You brought the car in clean
care
last
too
time.
much
It's ready to go when you are.
if I don't get gold and everything, but it kind of sucks. I feel more like I should be able to do that. And this is the robots, which I had totally forgotten about the robots. That was a cool idea. We should be doing more of these. So we need 30 points, which tells me I want to hit as many of this as possible. Seriously. Each one of these is points. So I need to get 20 to begin with. Oh man, and I only got 12.
No way, dude. You gotta do better than that.
So you've got to floor it. No choice here. Let's see. This, and then this, and then it wants me to do a donut around these guys, which I failed. And it wants me to do these. 3 seconds. Oh, almost had 20. Almost had 20.
Bummer. Guess I'll see you around.
So there's a path here, but you'd have to get really good at this. Well, I can apparently enter that area. Now if I interesting. Alright. And 20, 24.
A bronze medal. Awesome.
See, I could have gotten one more and gotten a silver, but I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. I think that's asking too much. A lot of these quests, particularly, are asking too much of me, and the game's not really training me in any way for that to work. And so we need to do the final. And 3 rounds. Let's do the first round and that'll be it. All the way back here. Maybe if I hit the left bump it would just go all the way to that.
You've been doing so well in head-to-head races recently. No need to break that streak now.
Yep. We're making progress very slowly. Start this race. Omex, BF Goodrich. So much advertising.
120, downhill through building. 80. Hard right, keep in, cambered.
Yeah, and he's saying cambered again. I don't know what that means.
Medium left. Medium right, over crest. Easy right, very long. Crest, jump.
We're about to hit a crest and
40.
jump.
Medium right, keep in,
And then
cambered.
crest and jump. And
Medium left,
then
long.
keep doing this.
80.
Getting a lot of vibration
Medium right, keep in,
driving
cambered.
on the snow as far as my controller vibrating. Feels like the game is trying to feed.
120, downhill through building. 80.
See, I just feel
Medium
like
right, opens.
compared to a force feedback controller, driving something really professional, if you're going to spend $200, $300, maybe $600 on the driving wheel, I imagine this game works really well with that compared to an Xbox 360 controller, where it just feels like it's just vibrating. There's ambulances on the sides of all of these racetracks. They seem to be anticipating disaster.
Medium right, very long, keep in. Finish over crest.
I would assume that more people have heat stroke at events than people at cold events end up with extreme frostbite to the point where they fall down, or it's noticeable. I imagine people that get frostbite don't even recognize that they have frostbite until hours later. Alright, so this is where we're going to end today. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.